Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast where we motivate, inspire, and drive with stories from entrepreneurs from around the country. That's right, folks. Straight from their mouths to your ears, this is Hustle City, USA.
What's up, America? It's Hustle Talk time. I'm the Texas real estate dude coming to you from the chair and hot on the mic here at Hustle City, USA. And I'm with my fellow host today, none other than Bo Kidd, proprietor of Mixed Sweepies Chimney Cleaning Service. Bo, how in the hell are you today?
I'm doing good. Just trying to fill in.
Just trying to fill in Mr. Alltech's absence today. He had some important stuff going on. I understand there was a huge JLA training today. Were you in attendance, Bo?
Yeah, I was. It was a long one. It's a real thorough training. Everybody, all the new agents were there, and it was a real good get together.
How many people would you say were there? I understand they had to take that off site, didn't they?
Yeah, it had to be 30, maybe 30, 40, somewhere in there.
Oh, the pictures looked a little more. I don't know. Where are you sitting? In the front or the back? Or
I was sitting in the front.
There were 60 people behind you, Bo.
Well, I need to learn how to count.
I don't know exactly. It looked like a pretty full room. Well, that's good. It's good training. Well, I saw trending on Twitter today, and I'm kind of upset about this because it seems like I always get these kind of news the day of instead of knowing in advance. But today is #National Sandwich Day. It seems like there should have been an emergency alert or something that went out, so I knew this was happening. I had no idea till after lunch that it was even National Sandwich Day. What's going on with that?
I don't know, man. I ate pasta, so I missed the bus on that one. But there's still plenty of time left in the day for sandwiches. So
sandwiches for dinner it is.
And actually, I prefer to call them sandwiches. They leave the D out. They sound a lot more tasty.
They sound a lot tastier.
Yeah.
Well, this morning I kind of took the day off, took the hustle off. The hustle needs to rest every once in a while, and I took the morning to get a manicure.
Oh,
yes,
nice.
I wanted to be fresh for today's show on the podcast and all, so that my nails were looking pretty for internet radio.
Let me take a look. Let me see what you got there.
They buffed them out. Get your
cuticles.
Yeah, they clipped the cuticles. It was nice. I didn't get any polish, no clear polish.
Let me ask you this: have you ever gone pedicure?
I'm going back. It was a very nice little spa thing. I'm going to do the whole thing. Yeah,
I tell you, as a big guy, you got to take care of your feet. So you go get your pedicure.
You got to take care of your feet.
You got to take care of those bad boys. They carry a lot of weight. Make sure they rub the yams on your calves, and you get the wax treatment on your toes and everything.
Nice. Well, we've got a guest in the studio with us today, and I believe it's none other than Jason Waggoner. Is that the correct pronunciation of the last name?
That is how to say it.
Jason, welcome to Hustle City today. We are so glad you're here. Tell us a little bit about who you are, and let's get started there.
There's a lot to that, but right now I'm the vice president of ACUTRAQ, the founder of the UmeetU Movement. Just a lot going on, and all positive things. Really just glad to be here. It's an honor to be on the show, seeing everything you guys are accomplishing and all the people you guys are affecting.
Well, Jason, it's great to have you. And I'll let Bo come in a little bit, but how did you get to where you are now? And if you don't mind me asking, how old are you, if you don't mind?
You bet. 35, and it's been a long road, but I feel like I'm just getting started.
Oh, absolutely. at 35. At 36, I was done. But, if you've still got steam at 35, that's awesome. But why don't you talk with Jason and take us back to the early days, way back when you sort of decided you had this drive to go out and do something maybe a little different?
It's been such a process. There was a lot of things that happened early on in my mid-20s with my career and different things. I started off at a young age just working in factories trying to make my way, and ended up meeting Jeannie Baker, the owner of ACUTRAQ, and just being around her and seeing somebody that has a drive to do something so powerful, so significant, and being able to be a part of that. I started with her in 2008 after, ironically enough, there was a job that I walked out of, didn't know what I was going to do, but there were things going on that I didn't want to be a part of anymore. And so for 1 month, until I got another job in sales, I sold vacuum cleaners for 1 month, and in that time met the owner of this business, Jeannie Baker.
Were they Kirby's?
They were Kirby's competitor. These cost about $2,500, and they were Hyla, a brand called Hyla out of Germany. unbelievable vacuum cleaner. We won't get into all that, but
Well, actually, I want to. I've never understood the cost of vacuums. I mean, $2,500. That sounds like maid service to me for the entire year. And I know they're good, like the Dyson
Yes.
and all that. But I'm like, come on, I could spend $100 and vacuum twice. I don't get it.
I can take you through the process. I can tell you this: when I went home and demoed it for my wife, she said, "I don't know what you have to do, but get me one of these."
No kidding.
So what you had to do to get one for free was sell 10 of them in a month. And I ended up breaking that record and sold 11 in a month, which nobody had ever done at that point in time.
Nice.
Hustler.
And it was so funny because all the people in the classes we were in, I got some really good sales training through that time, but all the people in the classes were just, oh, you must be just a go-getter. You were a straight A student. None of that until later on. But when they tell me, there's money incentive involved, now teach me what I need to do to make that
That'll
money.
move you a
And
little bit.
so that really drove me to really learn their product in a quick time. And really I learned it was just a connection with people. That's where it kind of started, where I understood having that connection with people.
So that was sort of your first insight into sales, into
It was into the
entrepreneurship.
psychology of
Were you going door to door?
there was some door to door, but luckily
That's
I made
tough.
most of mine off referrals. So while everybody else was having to go around and knock on doors, at the end of mine, I would just tell them, if you enjoyed this, you obviously bought one, somebody else that would want to buy one too.
Absolutely.
And so luckily, Jeannie Baker, the owner of ACUTRAQ, bought one of these things. And 2 years later, that was 2006, and then 2008, she called me one day. And she said, as I was cleaning this morning, she said, I've done this business by myself for 10 years. I'm growing at a rapid rate, and I can't do it alone anymore. We had one office person, so it was her and I and an office person when I started with her. We went and had lunch, and everything that I had done previously, I was inside sales at a place called Packaging Specialties in Arkansas, and that's where I had worked my way from the factory floor into the corporate office. And just nothing more than when the job was posted, I thought, there's a long shot at getting this, but I just had to try.
That's an amazing story. Actually, I started in factories myself and enjoyed it and had some good times, but I thought, I don't want to do this forever. There's got to be a little something different for me. So tell us a little bit about ACUTRAQ.
Well, ACUTRAQ we're a full service background screening company. That's how I originally met John, just through the Chamber of Commerce a couple of years ago. And we basically service property management companies, real estate companies, and we were formerly under the name Tenant Searchers. And as it grew into more employment screening, in 2005, they changed the name to, Jeannie changed the name to ACUTRAQ Background Screening, just to cover a broader spectrum. But tenant screening is primarily what we do. We teach real estate offices how to take their agents and give them something uniform, so that, for one, the broker knows what they're doing, and then it gives them an avenue for credible information and a source that they can call, so the broker doesn't get those phone calls all day long.
Now, is that just through the Houston metro area, or are you guys nationwide?
We are nationwide right now. We are in all 48 states as far as the lower 48, and she just came back from a conference in Hawaii, so we may pick up some business there pretty soon. But between employment screening and tenant screening, we're nationwide now. It's been a long process. We have an affiliate office in Hollywood, Florida. Don Hughes does a great job down there and covers the southeast for us. And then between Jeannie and I, we service the rest of the country, and it's a full-time job.
Wow, so you're on the road some, or no?
On the road quite a bit. I just got back from Vegas last week, and just it's always amazing to connect with those people that, we've moved into an age where everything is online, it seems like. So
Absolutely.
The phone calls that we take, any chance we get to go put a face to those names and really solidify that connection, we're going to be there.
Right. So you're looking for corporate type clients that you guys lock down for employment screening and that kind of
right.
stuff.
We like the corporate. We like the bigger ones. We've learned there's a lot more politics involved with the bigger clients, the companies that have 1,000 employees and up. Same way with tenant screening, the bigger property management companies. I'm learning a lot of that stuff goes out for bid, and then 2 years later you're cutting yourself again, trying to compete with the bid when it goes out again. So we work with some of the top property managers in the country. We enjoy those, but we also go after the home-based landlords. It's funny you ask that, because we just launched a new program on Sunday that finally rolled out. It's tenantscreeningsolutions.com with an S on the end, but you can get there from the ACUTRAQ website too, which is ACUTRAQ. but it's based just for home landlords and real estate agents that need something. But the way it works, the way they can access that credit report is because it goes out to the applicant, and then the applicant does all their own personal information. So the agent, the home-based landlord, never sees all that personal information.
And that sounds to me like, and I don't want to necessarily bring up a competitor, but My Smart Move is that one of your competitors?
We actually have a portal for My Smart Moves that we've used for the last 5 years to service those clients. This one takes it to a whole new level. So now we're having to go back to them and show them, okay, look what we've taken the time to build, so that not only do they have, see, with Smart Moves, you just have a credit report and criminal report. With this platform, it's completely free. So a home-based landlord can sign into this. They can use it. They get a free website. They get a free financial portal. They get, of course, the credit and criminal reports. And how that's free is because the applicants, of course, pay the application fee, which they should be doing. That's your first line of defense. But it's just been a really exciting business to be a part of, especially as technology's grown and we have these avenues now to service, home-based landlords. Before Smart Moves, there was nothing.
That's right.
And then, now that we're moving into some other areas, we're able to offer them just more and more so that they can have all the tools a huge property manager uses. They can have all those at their fingertips. We're just excited about it.
Now, when you mention national level property management firms, is this commercial managers as well? Or?
Yes, and that's been primary. That's why this is so special, because we primarily service real estate brokers and property management firms. When you're dealing with credit reports, there's a lot of hoops to jump through, and so if you want direct access, it has to be somebody with a commercial location, somebody that's obviously involved in property management, and so that's been the majority of our business is working with the larger property management companies.
No, I'm sorry, maybe I asked incorrectly, but I mean, are they commercial managers? These are property managers that manage commercial properties.
We're finding commercial properties, not so many of them screen.
Right.
We have a few that take the initiative to screen the people that are going to be next door to businesses in commercial locations. For the most part, they want to see something on the business, but individual-wise, we're not seeing a lot of people screen. And even the business side of it, it's a very small, select few that take the initiative to screen the commercial clients.
I understand. And from reading your bio, Jason, when you sent it to me, and I appreciate you being here today. I know we had to reschedule a couple times to get everybody's schedules coordinated. You've got quite a few other things going on other than your current VP position with ACUTRAQ. And pull from one of those, and let's start there.
You bet. So ACUTRAQ has really given me the confidence, the drive, and really the knowledge. Being under Jeannie and seeing her with all these years it's just really helped me move into the next level of my life as far as being confident to go out and do these other things. And one of the things, when I got to Houston about 5 years ago, I was able to really get a lot of experience in the music industry. I've always been a professional musician, and in the past, when I lived in Fayetteville, Arkansas, it's kind of like Austin. We've got one street, Dixon Street, that you can stay busy Thursday, Friday, and Saturday playing music.
I've actually been there. Yes,
it's an amazing environment, and so moving here, the music scene's a little bit different. But I was lucky enough to get in with a couple of the guys that actually were former producers for Rap-A-Lot, and really just dive into that realm head first. And so I've been lucky enough to dabble in the music industry and get on a couple of big name albums and just enjoy it. So taking off the ACUTRAQ hat and putting on that hat in the evenings was, for a long time, I thought that's what I wanted to do. I thought, okay, eventually I'll be able to move into full-time music. And then just through the course of doing different things as far as self-development and different classes and courses that I've taken, it helped me understand that there's such a bigger picture than just getting a song on the radio or doing something like that. And so that's where I moved into kind of shifting it over to what I've called the UmeetU Movement. You can find it on Facebook, just Facebook.com/UmeetU, and that's the letter U, meet the letter U. And because I'm finding that it's so much more fulfilling when you're helping people grow. We have a lot of fun doing music, but how can I use that music to drive, just like in a movie when they tell you the feeling, that music's what gives you that happy feeling, that soft feeling, the emotions that come along with music. And so I've been really blessed to just really have all the people and the resources around me to be able to drive this forward in more than just making a song. So now I've got a team. One of the guys is Thomas Gurnau with Motivate Entertainment, a guy that I played in bands with previously, and then come to find out he's got a business called Motivate Entertainment. So things are lining up like that. Rob Quest is another. He's a former producer of Rap-A-Lot and a blind producer that almost died, from liver failure, different things that he's been through. And so being around other people that are moving forward, that are trying to motivate and inspire other people to see their potential, it really has just grabbed a hold of me, and it's pouring out of me, and I just can't turn it off. So that's really what I'm driven to do right now.
So, and that makes me think a lot about Hustle City USA. I mean, a large part of our premise is to be able to highlight what people like yourself are doing in their local communities and sharing those stories with other like-minded individuals. Tell us more about the You Meet You.
I'm learning just like this. These connections drive everything. Our fulfillment, our happiness, and I'm learning it's more so about the people you're around than anything you can do. It's not monetary. Money. A lot of people think it's going to fix everything. No, not the case. We all know successful people. Look at Robin Williams and what happened. They're just such a tragedy. You think, how can that person do so many significant things and still be so unhappy?
Right.
And so that's really, with the UmeetU movement, I really was driven to help people meet their self, because that's what it is. A lot of people are angry at something that happened in their past or the way somebody treated them in their past, and to get over that and be able to walk through that door and quit living and dwelling in the past to where you can write your new story, where you can move forward.
I'm still upset at Bo Kidd from last week, and I just can't really seem to shake it.
It seems to be a pattern. You're not the first person I've heard say
cause a little trouble every now and then. I can't help it.
That's why we keep Bo around. He's sort of the minister of mayhem, but keeps the rest of us in check as well. So if I was, and I apologize, I've not hit the Facebook page or
no problem
for You Meet You. I may have originally when you sent it to me. I think it was in the body of the email. But if I was a member of UmeetU Movement, what could I expect?
The thing about it is, it's not really being a member. The content is there. So we're putting together interviews, podcast, which we're in production right now on, and then just different motivational videos and things that at any point in time, you can go there and get fed with some positive content. You can see things that other people are doing that are driving forward. And that's the main thing. I want people to see something positive. I want people to recognize their own potential. And when you hear the stories, I'm working on one right now with a pro bodybuilder. We launched just a promo, but the actual interview will come out in about 2 weeks. And somebody that's battled depression and everything else, you see this surface, on the surface of, you think, how can this person deal with depression or the things that so many people are dealing with? And so when you hear the story of everything he's overcame to now be a pro bodybuilder, a pro model, a black belt jiu-jitsu instructor, he was a Pan Am champion, which in the martial arts world is huge. Right, yeah. And just seeing the drive that successful people have, we all have that drive in us. It's just some people have trouble accessing it. Mm-hmm.
And what are you looking to do? And I think you just said some of that, but obviously you want to scale this to take it to a national level.
Yes, live events is what we're wanting to move into. I've seen just a few things, live events, and I've seen people's lives change in a moment. And not everybody has 3 days to visit a conference and go through this stuff. So the main goal is eventually I'll be able to have 4 or 5 hour events to where we go through some of the steps of helping people change and walk through that door.
Now, are you registered as a foundation or a nonprofit or anything right now, or is that in the works? Or? It's
in the works. We're actually in discussions right now of which route to go, whether it should be a nonprofit, because I don't want this to be anything monetary. We're moving into some other realms where we'll have a media company so that we can do commercials and jingles. If you get a chance, go check out the Bad Tenant Blues. You type that in on YouTube and you'll see the first one out of the box for me. I did that for our company just to get some experience and to everything that I've learned to kind of put it in motion.
Absolutely.
And so different things with ACUTRAQ and with the media company, that stuff will really be the vehicle to drive the UmeetU movement so that there's nothing to buy there. The content is there. The The conferences will eventually manifest, and I want it to be content that anybody can access, because a lot of this stuff, it costs $3,000, $4,000 to go and get the help that you need. And
I think some of those guys are selling that package, so to speak.
they are, and there's some of them that are truly doing it for the right reasons, but figuring out how to do it to where it pays the bills and you can still help that many people at one time. But the thing about it is a lot of that stuff, you go to it and you have that feel-good feeling for 2 days, and then your old mindset creeps back in.
Right,
there has to be
there for you. The content's
right,
not continually
and
there.
I think that's what a lot of people don't understand is when you start talking about self-help or getting out of the funk of life, paying bills and making sure there's food on the table and all of that stuff. We forget a lot of times that we kind of write this story everywhere that you're at, every place that you're in, you put yourself there whether you realize it or not.
Absolutely.
And we can rewrite that anytime.
And how long have you been working on the UmeetU movement?
The UmeetU movement, I really had the vision for it around April of this year. Before then, I've always had this passion. I've always helped people and just really been there, been a good listener. That's a lot. If you're wanting to help people, be a good listener.
Right.
That's one of the main things about it. I just didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how to move it forward. And then I really learned I wasn't really seeking it. When I really got serious about it and started dwelling on it, thinking about it,
right?
Okay, this can move forward, this can manifest. And it just hit me one day after one of the conferences that I went to and hearing so many people share stories. How many people we walk by in Walmart, the mall, that look like they're in a good spot, but inside they're dying.
Absolutely.
They may have nice clothes and a nice car, but inside they're already dead. Right. They think this is just my life. This is just where I'm supposed to be. My life sucks. There's nothing I can do about it. And when people tell themselves that story over and over every day, it really it can be detrimental to living this life and getting everything out of it. A lot of people live it like we get 5 of them. And we get one, and it's rapidly passing us by.
You never know when it's going to expire. It's amazing to me, and I hadn't thought this prior to us sitting down, but although there's complete differences between what Hustle City intends to do and what UmeetU intends to do, there's a lot of similarities as well, because we tend to think that, if you're 50 or 23 or whatever and things suck, get out and change it. Get a new hustle on. Now, we're not going deep on the psychic of it, but it sounds like UmeetU is, and I love that. That's
so true. And when I looked up what you guys are doing, it correlated perfectly. It was great to see how you guys are inspiring people, and that's the main thing. If we can help another person, even one person, it sounds cliche, but, if the UmeetU movement helps one person recognize their dreams and chase those dreams successfully, then I'm okay with that.
Well, I kind of think another common thread is there's a human being in there. And I think that is something that relates, Hustle City to the UmeetU movement. Is everybody, you see somebody that has success in business and you think that it just fell in their lap, but they were scared. They were nervous. They were depressed. It's a scary thing to go into business, and you're doing it on the same level of, you see somebody, the outside looks fantastic, but it may not, be represented on the inside. And it's a really cool thing you got going there. It's basically feels to me like you're reminding people that, there's hope. And I hear that in your story as well. It's like you just kept moving. You said you lost your factory job. You started selling vacuum cleaners, and you came right to this. The thing that you didn't do was stop moving.
That's the biggest thing in interviewing different people. Get up and try. They'll tell you, especially successful entrepreneurs, they'll tell you, when I started this, I was scared to death. Mm-hmm. And you think, wow, I just thought you had it all together.
I woke up scared this morning. I don't know.
Yeah, I've had a scary
week
too.
We're supposed to step where it's scary, But having the confidence to do that is what most people lack. It's been stripped from them at some point. And having the confidence to jump where it's scary, people just, they shy away from it. Not only that, our mindsets are programmed to keep us in our comfort zone. If you take somebody that's got a traumatic story, and they're used to telling that traumatic story. When they get over it, what is their identity?
Right.
Now they have to rewrite. They
right.
don't know who they are because this was how they got attention. And maybe not even that. Maybe it's just the story they told themselves over and over. This is who I am. This is what
and
happened.
it's kind of easier to be who other people expect you to be.
Totally.
I guess is kind of a way of saying it.
Well, and what I like about it, and we've had a few of these conversations around the offices here, is, and no disrespect intended, we love all these guys, but a Tony Robbins, John Maxwell, these guys are at the top of their game, and they're almost, you can't get in their inner circle. You just have to go buy the book or pay that $3 or $4 grand for the seminar that may come around once a year. And then once that year has passed, you kind of, like you were saying, you forget you were at that seminar, and hopefully you had some great takeaways from it. But what is the day-to-day nourishment you're sort of getting?
That great that you bring that up, because what I'm finding with most people is they're not looking for the information. Even Tony Robbins and all those guys out there, they've been doing this for 30 years. They have so much content for free, but most people are wrapped up in the newest sitcom. They're wrapped up in that immediate moment, than looking long term and spending hours and hours on YouTube really seeking out what's going to help them drive real change.
So what are you doing, or how do you intend to get UmeetU in front of more people?
That is a great question. My main goal right now is just to make good content. If it's good, I think people will find it. They're finding it now, and just some of the success stories I've already heard from people, and not only that, from people that I've worked with individually, it lets me know that I'm on the right track. It lets me know that people can do this, as opposed to just going to somewhere and getting that quick good feel good.
And right now, you mentioned earlier your Facebook page. So how are people finding you?
On Facebook. I do a little bit on YouTube, but for the most part, Facebook is how I'm driving everything at the moment. Keeping the website updated, but Facebook has been the most of it, and really still in the early stages. I'm playing around with different ways of marketing. I just upgraded my camera so that everything will look more professional. I did so much stuff for years on my camcorder, and I'm learning that the more professional it is, the more people are going to find it, and the more people are going to share it.
Okay, so that Facebook again was facebook.com/UmeetU, is that correct?
Correct, with the letters U.
Okay.
Right.
And a Twitter account or anything like that?
Don't have Twitter yet. Instagram, they can find me and everything that we're doing at WagSwag, Instagram /WagSwag, which was just my Instagram account before this started, and I've just kind of really kept it, let it be the driving force, and that's WAGGSWAG, which everything on there is the same way. It's motivational. It drives back to the UmeetU movement. So anytime you see something hashtag UmeetU Movement, you can know that came from me or somebody that's found it.
Right. And for your full-time career position, if people needed to reach out for those services, how can they contact you there?
You bet. So ACUTRAQ.com is ACUTRAQ. We're also on Facebook, and we are on Twitter. That the Twitter account there is one I've been working on for about 5 years. We've got thousands of followers now, and really with that's what's been so neat about this whole thing, is being in the vice president, the marketing, the sales position at ACUTRAQ has taught me, how to really drive something forward and move it forward.
Well, I think that speaks a lot for the owner of that company, Gina, correct?
Jeannie, yes.
Jeannie, that she encourages you, I'm assuming, to pursue your other passions and do both and make you a whole person, an employee of hers, and
not just, it doesn't just affect me. We see it. It affects our whole office, our whole atmosphere, and she's such a spiritual person that all the traveling we've done together, those 3-hour car rides, those week-long trips where we get a chance to really talk about ourselves and where we're going and how to set goals. And I think that's a lot of the education people are missing. That's hard to get in a 10-minute motivational video. Is I don't know if you've seen the movie The Secret.
I have.
It's a good movie, but there needs to be a sequel to that talks about the effort that goes into seeking out your dreams and fulfilling.
Well, and it's my belief, and we've again had some conversations here, but so many of us are getting our information in sound bites anymore, and not a lot of us are going those 3-hour conversations and getting really deep and personal with each other any longer.
Right.
And it's still there, and then I think it's maybe even coming back around. But technology has given us so many just bits that we're getting hit with every day, such as National Sandwich Day I talked about. And I had no idea. I saw it in a second, and then I wanted a sandwich, and it was gone.
I still
but
want a sandwich.
that's not deep, and it's not real.
Right, and I'm still waiting on National Sloppy Joe Day, so don't let me miss that. If there's
Well,
one.
there must be a day for everything, I'm finding, and I didn't know that. So, Bo, McSweepies, how can we find you if folks local here to the Houston metro area needed chimney cleaning services?
You can find me at www.mcsweepies.com. You can find me on my Facebook page, and that's...
Do you have a telephone number?
I do
Bo?
have a telephone number. It's 832...
Is that a rotary dial telephone you got
Yes,
there, Bo?
yes.
What's
Actually,
the
no,
number for McSweepies?
The number is 832-707-9869.
Great. McSweepies has been a great sponsor for Hustler City since we've got started here, so I'm glad to have Bo fellow hosting with me today. And that's it for Hustle City USA. Again, I'm the Texas real estate dude. Hustle City World Headquarters. Find us on Twitter at @HustleCity_USA. And we're out till next time. Thanks, Jason, for being on the show.
Thank you, guys.